Now, question time. This isn't where you sit here. Listen, boys, this is not going to be where I'm gonna sit here in full cam and you all gonna listen to me. I want to listen to you. The one and only thing that matters, if you played more than 5 games ranked, what's your opinion? Don't give me that the match is smoother crap. Details. For example, can little Timmy just hold pressure 80% and cook you? Can free Muggle Messi track back with 30 defense? Can bag average strikers press you as if they have the new second playing style? These are questions I want to know. You guys here on Twitch, you guys on YouTube, comment down below. That's what I want to know. Gameplay being slow, it's not a problem. It's gonna change, don't worry. It's the first 2 weeks of Honeymoon. The people who just like to run and kick, the people who like to reach your box with one pass, these people will not like it, but the game will go back to that. Right now, the gameplay is slower. Maybe it needs patience. Maybe you can play some build-up. Satisfying gameplay. They always do that for the first 2 weeks. And then the third week, bam. Timmy's gonna make 2 passes, he's in your box. Pressure still exists. Is it not punishable though? What about pass assist? 1, 2. It just makes no sense to me the amount of people just hold aggression without matchup, without cursor switch. These are the most claustrophobic, suffocating matches for me. You're thinking, alright, you're not going through the aggression, you can pass wide. But Timmy Priest still plays like hell. Blitz curl is nerfed. They always nerf that. Bullet header, blitz curl, even with the best bullet headers, you still have to use manual shooting. It's ridiculous. Defense is nerfed. Well, some people said defense is still easy and more automatic. Fluid formation and finding the right balance. We'll talk about that in a bit. My question is purely on gameplay. In terms of dribbling, I mean, everything is very related to the aggression, to the minus aggression. People just hold X, because if a decent player just hold X, you'll get punished. If you're a Division 1 player with a best squad, can you just hold X in every game and still suffocate the opponent? I don't think so. And that kind of aggression and pressure, it takes your dribbling away. Like, you could be having Messi or Neymar with 100 dribbling, with 3 showtime skills, but you still have to do glitch cancel dribbling to bypass 3 defenders. So, played 7 matches co-op and div. It seems to have some more important attacking players mentality. However, it feels like any other Honeymoon period. See, that's the thing. Like, before, I know the big deal is about the second player style, which is defensive player style. I get that. What the hell is this song, bro? I know that's the whole debate is about that right now. But I can tell you this. I played every single day the previous update. I promise you, average Messi card with 30 defense was tracking back like there's no tomorrow. Average strikers will press you like hell. Average defenders with terrible ball control, 50 passing, will pass like Pirlo. So this second playing style, yes, it seems like it's a way that they're trying to implement a reset, you know, making you think that you're gonna need a whole new upgrade, the whole squad. I'm not saying that isn't the case. We'll get to that a little bit. But almost everything with this new playing style, I almost see it every game. It can't be just me. Like, if you read the description of the second playing style, which what we're gonna get it. Barry's saying, watching on big screen, hopefully you enjoy the game tonight. I'm liking the gameplay. Barry's saying, I really like it. It's better and has potential, so it's open and loose, but I'm frustrated playing against the same meta in eFootball 26 and 75% of my games today. People are playing the same exact same thing in the last 12 months. AI aggression still too noob friendly. Damn. The game is very nice, but I think a lot of new changes are irrelevant to 90% of the users. Bang! That's it. You know? Look, man, I'm not 12-year-old. The bubblegum theme and, almost everything else, it's kind of for the free-to-play community and for the newcomers. Everything is super simplified in a sense. They remove some instructions. There are some nice touches that simplify certain things, but as I said before, I want to in-game quick sub. I want to in-game activate, deactivate instructions, and I'm not even asking for a lot in terms of user interface that looks like a bar of soap. But I also am not gonna do my wish list because they don't care. But I think that last sentence from Barry as well, to me stands out. The changes are irrelevant to 90% of the users. The 4-2-2, the 4-2-1-3, forced narrow play, super cancel dribbling. Even though we have players with 100 technique, you still have to do super cancel glitch dribbling to beat average defenders, which kind of defies the point. I thought the better team you have, the more freely you can play, the more express your gameplay with different setups. So yeah, if you want to reach Division 1, that's all your aim, 100% you can have fun with Fluid. But as I said before, like, I manually do Fluid formation with sub-tactic. Sure, I manually change back and forth, but both of them has restriction. We're gonna get into it. I got my notes. It is though. To most, the top tier 100, top 100 or top 1K players, this change is like completely irrelevant to them. Most of them still use Gasparini, which why not? Most of them don't even use sub-tactic. And I promise you, I have said this before this update came in. I said if Fluid formation becomes effective, then top tier players and top 1K, you will see a very minimal Fluid activation. Like, let's say they play 4-2-2 meta, Fluid to 4-2-1-3, Diamond, Fluid to 5 at the back, or a simple 4-2-2. The change will be dropping players and going double pivot DMF instead of DMF CMF. Or if somebody playing 4-2-1-3 Diamond, the defensive Fluid will be 4-2-2 wide or 4-2-3-1. So that's what you're going to see. I just want to go through this quickly with you boys. Alright? Not gonna read all that. Those of you guys here or on YouTube, all the note patches are here. From custom tournament, game plan update, new playing style, all that. Right? All details are here. You don't need to read all that. I can literally go through it in 5 minutes and explain it all instead of reading it. It's not that much of a thing. In terms of when it comes to the gameplay, really, why is this loading so badly? Does that have an audio? Yeah, the tournament is a nice touch, but it has its flaws. The Fluid formation, we're going to talk about it. The second playing style, we're going to talk about it. Overload playing style, we're going to talk about it. Manager amendment 2 link-ups. Did you guys know that tactic used to be your own secret? Not only people can see your link-up, if they know your manager, they know your link-up. So even if you have 2. But people even can see your Fluid setup as well. We'll get into that. Now, this one I want to talk about. It's a good touch, right? Only after I wasted 50 position trainers, the next day we get this. So let me get this correct. It says the registration position can also be learned. The registration position cannot be learned. Right. I want to understand this because I don't speak in Konami language, boys. Okay? I really don't speak Konami language. So, does that mean if a player already has it, he cannot have it? Watch this. Obviously, I want CB. I want CB for him. He already has CMF, and he gets CMF. Like, what am I missing here? Is it because I gave him a CMF before, or was it native? Well, I didn't give him CMF. I don't think I have. So, I don't understand this one. You guys here on YouTube, help. Yeah, like, based on what that says. As you can see, he only have LMF. I thought if he already has a position, you cannot get a duplicate. So I lost 17 tokens with my Cafu trying to give him DMF. Only if it's a DMF. Just position DMF. His primary is DMF. Oh, so he will not get his primary position. Is that what it is? Okay, thank you. Well, there you go, boys. As I said, we're here to all learn together. And that is that. Mini games. Yeah, I'm not 12-year-old. That's probably amazing for Timmy's. I mean, we used to get these rewards right directly to our inbox, but a lot of people said, we need content, we need content. Now you have to do something like this to get the same reward that you used to get directly into your inbox. So it's an illusion of content. Have fun. I know some people are having fun right now. I'm not here to burst your bubble gum. Burst your bubble. Gameplay update. I did dynamic volley. Okay. Let's talk about this dynamic volley, boys. Boy, I want to talk about dynamic volley. Alright, here's one. Here's one. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. Satisfying. Makes you jump. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right? Look. Again. Didn't work? No problem. Just spam it. Just spam it. Just spam it. Here we go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Again. 100%. 100% acrobatic. Boom. 100%. Every time. Every time. Every time. 99.9%, bros. 99.9%. And that is the problem. Right? That is the problem for me. Okay? Stuff like that should be, I don't know, satisfying. Same thing like comebacks. But I feel like if I do 5 crosses, as long as I try to shoot with a stunning kick, 4 out of 5 will do bicycle kick. So far, every time I've done a cross and kicked it with a stunning kick, every single time was an acrobatic. Now, you don't need to be old, but I just feel like this is very childish and almost takes away that emotion behind scoring a goal like that. Is it me being miserable, or you guys feel the same? Like, it's almost like it's every time, bro. Every time. And there's no way you can defend it. Now, I'm 100% sure eventually this will be nerfed because it's ridiculous. It is satisfying to score like that, don't get me wrong, but it's almost like it's every time, bro. Okay? It's almost like it's every time. That's all I can say. So that's a dynamic volley. New added motions. Okay? In various actions, player movement, kicks, goalkeeper saves. Some of these motions are good, like the defenders doing a pass back, doing a freaking taekwondo kick, goalkeepers doing thing. I thought this one was more like a running jokey. Never mind, this one is mobile. Well, some is for mobile, some is not. Console and PC. Kick motion added. That's nice. I feel like I've seen this before. Do you know, I'm actually surprised they don't put this new animation behind a paywall with a Showtime skill, because they do that normally. Also, I feel like with the second playing style right now, I feel like they're making DDA pay to win. I don't know. People who call Konami stupid, by the way, you need to think. You need to think deep. These guys are far behind that, bro. New cinematic added. There are also some balls as well. But anyway, we're not going to do this in Konami language, boys. Okay? We're not going to do this in Konami language. Nuh-uh. Right, what examples do I have here? Okay. Let me just pull my notes. Don't worry. Note is not that fucking long. Hardly. Alright, let's talk about overload and fluid formation. Overload and fluid formation. Okay? Now, you can already say this is not much details. Everything is in the game. You just flick the right stick and you read how it works, so you have an understanding. Right? That's it. That's all you need to know. Advice if I can give after trying it myself, the most, based on what it says, ideally you want to create a clusterfuck. Excuse my language. So Diamond, like these type of meta will probably work, I would say, for Overload. I would say this one in particular will definitely work with Overload. This one definitely works with Overload. This one, maybe if you make it 4-2-2. I didn't find this one very satisfying. But also, 4-3-3 flat perfectly worked with Overload against meta. Like if somebody's using the typical lone ball counter meta, 4-3-3 flat Overload with like proper classic pass style, DMF anchor, box to box orchestrator. Yeah, that one was satisfying. I want to make a separate video talking about Overload, but since we're talking about what is new, I think that's pretty much my opinion based on that. Um, I think the other option is the fluid formation. All right. First of all, the fluid formation has restrictions. All right. You cannot have different tactic. Like the sub tactic, you can have long ball counter, quick counter, right? With fluid, you cannot have two different tactics. Also, is a restriction to advanced instructions. You can have defensive advanced instructions on your defensive fluid and attacking on your attacking, which I'm gonna get into that. I'll give you an example right here. But also you can complicate it like me too. For example, this setup, I have fluid and I have sub tactic too. Let's say this is a diamond. All right. As in defense, there's an attack. Now, I cannot change long ball counter to position. Like in defense, I cannot change long ball counter to a different tactic. But with sub tactic, I can go position. Yeah. From long ball counter to position. So during the game, fluid will do it for you. In sub tactic, you can use that too if you want to change your tactic. If you're playing long ball counter, the guy's time wasting, boom, sub tactic, switch to position. So I don't think you need to go extreme with this. You have to keep it very simple. Unless you want to have fun, you're either going to absolutely cook the opponent or you get cooked, by all means. But you're going to have to pretty simplify it. Now, imagine me going with this complicated, semi-complicated, which I always run out of post time. Imagine what happened. You could practically have 4 different setups, yeah. But I don't trust the game. Like, I would never go something extreme. You can see my fluid is very simple. It's a classic diamond. When I lose the ball, it becomes 5 at the back. Not a ratty one. I still have an attack and fullback and a box to box. Well, maybe 2 players close to ratty one. Often I switch into this is good against people who just blindly spam the middle. So that is one example of fluid. Now we know with fluid you cannot have a different tactics. In terms of instructions, right? Which I'm not a fan of that, to be honest. Um, where's the instructions? Like advanced instructions. If I turn off the sub tactic, oh, I can't set the instructions because the team is not complete. Yeah, I have a complete team here. Let's say the not the Catenaccio, the closed deluxe is complete. All right. So if I want to set an advanced instructions, right? Now watch what happened in the top right here. The fluid changes. Attack instructions for attack. Defense instructions for defense. You see how it changes right here? And that kind of sucks in a way because usually when you go defensive fluid, ideally you want to use defense, right? That also reminds me they have removed attacking instructions and they have removed deep line instructions. Now you can say the second plane style, the fluid, the overload. Like if you play overload with fluid, it might make you think, oh man, I'm gonna have to upgrade my entire team from scratch. Because Konami trying to give you the impression of this is kind of a slow reset, right? In my opinion, I think if you play a very complicated overload formation with fluid, yeah, you probably will work out better if you have players with the second playing style. But also, in my opinion, you'd be absolutely fine not upgrading to players with a second playing style. I don't think because 90% of the stuff that happened, as Barry said, 90% of the changes is irrelevant to a lot of meta players in a sense. Do you think everybody would upgrade? Maybe top tier meta cards, like certain cards, I don't mind upgrading, but going to upgrade my entire squad, like more than one squad, thinking that I need players with a second playing style, I think that would be ridiculous in my opinion. And I promise you, unless you're just having fun, you want to win Division One, you play some unconventional stuff, you want to have all your players have second tactic. Like, let's not make excuses about our pack addiction to say, oh, we need to upgrade all our cards now. No, you have a pack addiction, just like me. You see, I love opening packs because I love trying different players. But I will never tell you you need to upgrade every single card to the second playing style. I wouldn't say that. You don't need it. Is it good to have it? Yes. You don't need it though. So let's not translate that. If you cannot control yourself to, do you want to upgrade your entire database of players? That is cool. But I wouldn't tell people that you need to upgrade all your cards because this is kind of a slow transition into a full reset by what they're adding, preventing us to use attack and preventing us to use deep line. And we're going to get to the second playing style in a minute. I think I've covered, I will have more detailed videos about fluid, but I think everything is self explanatory, really. I don't want to overly talk about this. We know with fluid, you're restricted to change your tactic and so on. And instructions wise, yeah, you cannot, in defense, ideally, you want to use a defensive one. So these are the restrictions, these are the pros and cons of them. The other thing is, for example, how to set up like simple ones. I think after I play some games, we can go through how to create a meta fluid setup. 4-2-2 goes into 4-2-3-1. 4-2-1-3 meta goes into 4-2-2. That's probably in a separate segment. You don't want to be in the menus for too long. People will stick to the 90% of people, at least on top 1K, will still stick to the normal stuff, man. Like I have seen people in top 10 right now. You check their squad, you see fluid. Do you know what their defensive fluid is for this setup? Simply go and double pivot or one DMF CMF. Because the problem with fluid is, unlike subtactic, right? Unlike subtactic, with my defensive subtactic, I can have defense on my fullbacks. And on my main, no defense, since we cannot deactivate instructions. But if you have fluid on, you cannot have different instructions in a sense. You cannot have defense. I mean, do you want to have defense on your players when you attack? No. The prevent an attack and deep line, we cannot come set for the second play style. I mean, they're kind of caging you in a sense, giving you the impression that you need it. For example, it would be like there are so many good cars that you upgraded it because he has momentum dribbling or he has magnetic feet. And for me, that's like a 1% difference. Do you know why? Because if you watch the top tier players, they still use glitch cancel dribbling to dribble you with players who has magnetic feet, momentum dribbling with 100 technique. They still have to use glitch cancel dribbling, aka test cancel. Just saying. The next thing I want to talk about is the new playing style for players, right? This one is something, boys. All right, so the attacking one stays the same. Based on what you see here, only Anchorman and Box to Box has two playing style. And also there's another thing. See when you pay to win cards, including the latest Mbappe you have, right? Look at this. The wording they use, bro. Basic. So when you don't have a second playing style, even your best Mbappe, your best Messi, that you went through a pack of 150, a pack of 250, The wording they use for these kind of stuff, bro, is like basic. You just think about it. He's got basic second playing style. You see what I mean? I mean, I'm not little Timmy, but I'm not to insult everybody's knowledge, but you understand even the wording they're using. So when the team loses possession, Mbappe is just basic, you know? He doesn't have a, wait for it, he doesn't have, kind of juicy pay to win stuff, the high protein diet stuff. Like Mbappe is just basic, bro. He doesn't have frontline pressure. He doesn't have frontline poacher. He's just basic. Your best Mbappe cards is just basic now. Oh, damn. Now we gotta spend all over again to upgrade. I'm gonna say this. Tell me I'm not crazy. You guys here on YouTube, if I upload this. Just 2 days ago, before this update, right? I promise you, bang average free Messi card with 30 defense was tracking back like Park Ji Sung. Bang average strikers highlight player of the week was pressing ridiculously accurate. Average free team, they were blocking the lanes like I mean the matches were live. The matches were live. So why is it everything it says here it gives me a deja vu already? Like even before this update. Now, I don't know if that's something to do with DDA or balancing. I'm not going to get into that. But just imagine frontline poacher. The opponent cuts the passing lane. All right, don't get me wrong. Do I want my Mbappe when he loses the ball? Instead of Mbappe being basic, do I not want him to cut the passing lane and to press my CB? Of course I do. But how effective is this? Because remember me, all right, I'm going to say this, but remember me when it happens. You're winning 2-0, you conceded a goal. Then I want you to pay attention to second playing style, your showtime skills, your entire team collectively, your best cards, okay? Or you're losing 2-0. I want you to pay attention to your fortress, to all your beefy players with their showtime skill and playing style. When you haven't scored that redemption goal, because that matters to me. Frequently, I have to play very, very good. And I don't remember frequently like most of the showtime skills that really changed my game. And what drives me crazy is that finally I have a good chance to get that redemption goal. I do a perfect blitz, boom, hits the bar. Suddenly is wide. As if after 12 hours I don't know how to blitz. But anyway, so yep, these are the new player playing style. It looks fancy, it looks effective when you think about it. Destroyer box to box stays there. Sweeper goalkeeper. Only Neuer can already do that, and I've had every single offensive goalkeeper. Does that mean if a goalkeeper has sweeper GK, does that mean he's gonna be like Neuer? I doubt it. Because most offensive goalkeepers definitely don't do what Neuer does. But we'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Obviously, most of these stuff right now, you'll be able to get players with this second playing style if you go and buy all the highlight card, right? You make a squad with that. And to be honest, I do have the coins to make a squad with all these playing style. Now, imagine I make a squad with all these playing style. Perfect. How much would that be pay to win in a sense? Do I still need to play very good against lower rank and bank average free teams? Is it worth it for me to spend like 3K, make a brand new eFootball 27 squad with highlight cards with all these as an experiment? I used to, but I don't believe in any of those that consistently helps in every moment of every match, especially often when you're trying to get the comeback. That's my opinion. What's your opinion? So we covered the playing style. We got 3 more points and we're going to go play. I mean, there are, of course, some positives, for example. I like this new feature. When I change Mbappe from SS to CF, yeah, you see it up there? Goal poacher fades off. So you know that the playing style is not active. Maybe those little Timmies who make mobile videos. Do you know what grinds my gear, boys? I often watch videos. Somebody make a video and say, I don't know, let's say he's using Mbappe, right? He's got Mbappe like this. And the video says, Mbappe goal poacher as a wing forward. I'm like, bro, it's like my OCD is flying over the roof with butt plug wings. So maybe that will help those experts to at least know how player playing style works. Joke is though, they still play more effective than me and beat me. Doesn't matter if they have no clue about playing styles. I mean, he's just on his phone, spending 5 minutes with AI text, with AI visuals, with AI thumbnail. I saw a thumbnail, there was about 15 players on there. I thought that was a glitch or something on mobile. But anyway, that's a good touch. You'll be able to see if a player is active or no. The other thing is when you train a player, you can see the boost, for example, the manager's boost, the down arrows going up in second, like this. It kind of shows when the team is squad. Before that, we didn't have that. Like it tells you how much boost you get with your manager when you level them up. Uh, you can view. That's another thing. Also, this is not that important, but default legend boots only took them about 15 years, 15, 12 years. Okay, only took them 10 years to finally change Legends default boots. They would go beyond and above for standard cards like non-retired cards. But yeah, now Legends have kind of a similar genetic, but it's like gold, white, etc. Just not the same one. I thought I may add that. Better odds of position trainers, we spoke about that too. In terms of gameplay, for me, yeah, gameplay seems fun unless you face somebody who just holds pressure and you don't know where to go. Look, man, don't get me wrong. If you face somebody who's just holding pressure, ideally you're not trying to play through the aggression, right? That's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to play away from the aggression. Like it's a common stance thing, right? But very often and frequently, ground pass option is not there. You do a lofted pass, the elevation goes same height as Roberto Carlos. That drives me crazy. But anyway, um, I think we talk about that when you do a cross with a trying to finish with a stunning kick, you frequently do acrobatic finishing, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. That should be special. But every time I did make a cross, which that reminds me, tonight I'm gonna play a cross spamming squad. I want to see how often we're gonna have a counter. I'm gonna see how often players do a bicycle kick when I do a stunning kick. The tournament option is there for you to be able to play the tournament. Number one, it's limited to 8 players. Number two, you need to have cross platform on. And setting up is pretty basic, man. This is not a mode. I don't know if it's going to be like that or like the Master League thing. I would say you have way more freedom making manual tournament outside the game. But hey, man, if this gives you the excitement, I'm not bursting your bubble gum. Now, the last thing I want to speak about is what I dislike. Almost every tactical element is exposed. Every single one. And I'm going to show you. All right, for starters, link up for managers. Right? Link up for managers. If you don't know every manager on top of your head, there are websites I can link you up. You can just read the manager and so on. Most known managers we all know on top of our head. So when somebody plays Capello, you instantly know orchestrator to goal poacher. In real life, you would mark the source. In a eFootball, you mark the target, I would say. Marking the source is almost never works. So link up is already exposed. Whether you have two, third, it doesn't matter. What they added right now, I'm not a fan of this because it exposes everything. When you click on a player's team, okay, here's a new vision. First of all, it tells you he's using fluid. Second of all, it shows the tactic he's using. Now, obviously, when you see Capello, you're thinking, well, it's either a long ball counter or a quick counter. But sometimes it's like, let's say it's Jurgen Klopp, or let's say the latest Thomas Tuchel. You don't know if he's playing quick counter or position, even when you get matched against him. Now you know what he's playing. You know he's playing position. You know he's playing quick counter. So that's two things. Three, you can see their bench. Why? I'll tell you why they've added this, boys. So that little Timmy's, little Timmy's wanted smart assist. I thought they've added this so little Timmy's will, look and learn and copy and stuff. But these guys don't make an effort. Hence, they gave you smart assist. But anyway, maybe that's just my opinion. And most importantly, you hit the. I'm pretty sure somebody didn't know how to do this. By the way, and the user interface is very simple. It's like I made a bar of soap. You can't miss it. If you have no idea how to do something, just look down or up. That's it. That's the user interface. So now your fluid setup is exposed too. Boom. So now I know if I mark Messi when he loses the ball, that defender gets cooked. But smart people will never use man marking. They will use tide marking. Okay? So with tide marking, it's not going to be too problematic. But like, bro, we can see what you're doing. In what kind of video game that your tactics, whether it's a first person shooter or a football game, like, is there any other freaking game that exposes all your plans? Again, I know this is a honeymoon, it's first 2 week. Most of you guys are excited about the bubblegum theme and the little stuff that 90% of the time absolutely does not fucking matter. You're excited. I'm not here to burst your bubblegum. But also, my grandma always told me it's better to be honest than false positive. Like, I would rather be negative, but honest. So if me dropping facts crushing your reality, maybe it's time to grow up, Timmy. Or smartest in life. But yeah, I can't be the only one thinking, like, what the hell, bro? That's your plan, all exposed. Right? Boom. Just like that. Now, ideally, if you play against this guy, I guarantee you'll mark Messi and Ibrahimovic. For me, frequently in a diamond, Bellingham and Hazard making those late runs are more dangerous. Because top tier players on top 10, they're not going to play obvious long balls unless you let them to, unless you press them, unless you play careful, unless you give them space. So yeah, be careful when you mark, boys. There's fluid formations there, and it's top secret, It's top secret. But also, as I said, before this update came in, I did say fluid formation can be fun if you just want to win Division 1. But if you want to dominate in even top 1K, then fluid formation is going to be very, very goddamn basic. Watch this. You ready? You ready? You ready? you ready? Look at this massive change. Bam. So as I said, all he has changed, he's not even making his strikers SS. He's not making Hazard or Messi side mid for width. He's simply making Pirlo DMF. And I get it, that does make a difference, right? And by the way, this has nothing to do with Jai Victor. I'm just giving an example. I love the guy. I'm pretty sure I heard him in the stream saying, he speaks in Brazilian, obviously I don't understand, but he was saying, Jai Victor, Jabishamash, Mishmash. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm Scottish. I say Jai, I don't say J Victor. I thought he was mimicking me. But anyway. Now let's see. Let's see the next level fluid setup in the creme de la creme meta boys, who will play the same setup every day, every game, every phase. But boys, Is it boring? Yes. I'm actually jealous these people can play like that every goddamn day and not get bored. I am jealous. But this is how consistency comes. Like, they have an automation in their system, they know exactly where their players are. You become irrelevant because all of them have very similar patterns. Hence, game beaters. They're good at beating the game. What what triggers me though is that Ronaldinho with 100 technique, they still have to do glitch cancel dribbling most of the time. So he's not using fluid, he's not using overload, and he's absolutely fine. He's like, I'm not into Timmy stuff. But as you can see, even the fluid stuff is very minimal. And by the way, this is day one. Eventually, you probably don't even see fluid. And let me just say this, boys. There would be certain matches you face some of these, I call them eFootball heroes. You know, you're streaking, it's tens, and you face that guy who doesn't give a flying fuck whether he wins or loses. And he ends up cooking you. You know, the guy is playing like 4-2-4, quick counter, attacking fullback, no DMF, red mentality, superhero mode. And he's using overload. Yeah, but don't get into it. Like, don't say, oh my, if somebody cooks you with overload, it doesn't mean suddenly overload is. I did have noticed most people who play position, they're like an overload. It's like playing position with high pressing. And I let AI play against AI. I played against AI myself, and I played, I think it was one game online with it. Let's see what Tez, the Japanese pro, is using. Okay. Earlier on, Burn, I'm talking. Sorry, the stream froze. Earlier on, I saw Tess. You have to tell him, bro. Like, he doesn't understand. You know, he sees we're going through it. Like, I'm talking. He wants to go, SFX, my here. I know you're Burn. I can read your name. Yeah, I'm triggered. Okay, it's passed. Yeah, earlier on, he was using fluid. Basically, his one CMF became a DMF and then back to CMF. And everybody was like, oh my God, Tess is using fluid. We got to copy that shit. Well, he's no longer using it. So as I said, boys, these new editions, it's fun, just like bubblegum flavored ice cream. Oh, I'm a fan of this guy. I am a fan of this guy. I added him as a friend. He rejected me. He rejected me. Does anybody know him? Please tell him I'm a fan. Tell him I'm a fan, man. Maybe if I tell him I'll give him 12K, he'll add me as a friend. Anyway, so what's unique about this guy? This is probably a bad day. This is a bad day for him. Usually crossing is 82%. This is definitely a bad day. Nah, yeah, this is a bad day. Usually he's go 85 plus crossing. Okay? Now, I use 442 a lot for crossing as well. So tonight we're gonna try his setup, see what happens. Now again, his fluid is nothing groundbreaking. The only thing is changing, Messi drops to link up with Pirlo. And then Messi can send a long ball or switch to Beckham, and so on. Now he is using to attack and fullback. Even though he has the best bullet headers and the best crossers, he still uses manual shooting. Just like even when we have the best dribblers in the game with 100 technique, we still have to use glitch cancel dribbling to beat average free cards. Okay. So yeah, I'm a fan of this guy. I think this guy's defending gives him an edge. I've only watched him once playing. So that's pretty much about day one of eFootball 2027. Now for the rest of the stream, we're gonna go play. That's what we're gonna do. Normally we're never on the menus for that long, but it's day one. There are things I want to get through it, and most importantly, ask you guys' opinion. I think we've covered everything so far. Is there anything I've forgotten? You guys here on YouTube? Obviously, I'm not live on YouTube, but I'm speaking for the future when I upload. Yeah, I think I've covered everything really. Fluid formation, restriction, and pros and cons, and overload. I don't want to get too much into anything else until I play more. Because he's playing out wide, that's why. Is Gigantesco from South America? I think he is, yeah. Well, he got matched against Hussein, so I am guessing um, he's from USNA. Patch notes. Really? You guys want to read patch notes? You guys want to read? Wait, you Solomon? Yeah. I used to make videos about this. I used to spend 3 hours going through every single one and talk. But I will never forget. Remember when the double team in Connect, they said, you could not just hold pressure. You'll get punished if you hold pressure. I continuously had opponent who just hold pressure, and it was a nightmare. So yeah, let's just say I don't believe shit they say. And do I want to go through all this? I mean, you guys can read it. You just have to play. Like, if you understand the game, if you understand the game mechanics, you just play 10 online games, then you understand what's up. Forget about what they're saying. It's good to read, though, in a sense. Now, Destructor Cannavaro Duzai on RBLB ROP because no basic, he's always and always deconstructor. I was talking about the Warden of Basic, boys. See? It's small Warden, you know? You got the best defender in the game, but he's basic when he's losing the ball. You know, yeah, just basic playing style. As basic as a freaking GP. Don't fall into that game, dude. These guys are fucking geniuses, and there's psychology behind anything. You don't need to have a business management to understand common sense. You definitely need to be a psychologist to understand common sense of behind wording and narrative. But anyway, I think we'll have particular videos talking about fluid and all the other setup. And as I said before, man, even before this update, almost most my setup has a sub tactic like this. I just do manual. Most my setup does have that because with sub tactic I can have a different playing style as well, like this. With fluid you can have a different playing style, but we went through that. So you're basically saying no playing style LBRB is good. To me, that's not like. Let me show you what I mean. There's a reason why my Cannavaro can play, right? Like, I don't need this new groundbreaking second play style thing to use Cannavaro there. I've always used Cannavaro as a left back in certain particular setup. You're not wrong, Di Stylo. You're very knowledgeable. I just don't want to even indirectly trying to enable people so they can go and spend and upgrade every single. I don't want to be that guy. At least not in my stream. Same thing with Desai, left back. What about? Here's my question, Di Stylo. What if I use a CB with basic playing style? Hey, boys, we got a new thing now. We're not going to use no playing style, inactive playing style. No, no, no. We're going to strip it down to something very shitty and unappealing. It's basic. It's basic. You got a fucking defender like this. He's just basic. Just basic. Basic. It's basic defender. So my my question is, what if I use a defensive fullback as a CB, this stylo? Is that the same thing? Because a destroyer as a fullback doesn't have an active playstyle. What's happening around Mel? I tried not to spam this thing long enough. Hope you don't with YouTube recording. Oh, don't worry. No audio goes into. With Burn is something special, dude. You gotta respect the fact he never ever. He's consistent. Like when I see his name, his SFX already playing in my head. He appears. He says hi. He does his huda, and then he does his SFX, and then I'll never see him for the rest of the night. Is reset scum? I mean, free-to-play guys love reset. What they don't know is that we can buy packs again. So find another hobby. You never go to Tokyo. Events stop cooking Konami. As another example for Fluid. Oh, actually, one last thing I want to talk about, guys. This particular setup, I have Fluid and Subtactic. I think we go through that as well. So with my Fluid, my opponent sees this, but then he also realizes my defense is 4-2-2. Your opponent can see your Fluid, by the way. But I think even this, like if I want to aim for top 1K, this is too complicated. Maybe three at the back to 5 at the back will make sense. But also, forget the Fluid. I can also go with Subtactic. Boom. So, this is like a more advanced setup. Complicated, but advanced, but it's not too messy, in my opinion. So, with your Fluid, you start with 3 at the back. When you lose the ball, you're 4 at the back. That's with Fluid. You're not satisfied, you want to counter what your opponent's doing, you simply switch to 5 at the back with your Subtactic and with a different playing style. Or you just want to stick to, whatever you were using. I wouldn't go quick counter with that. So this is just an example. And you can go something more simpler with that. It could be 4-2-2 to 4-2-1-3 and Subtactic different. Because I mean, unless you are a top tier game beater like meta guy with all the cancels and glitchy finishes, like you do nothing but use every exploit in the game to your advantage, which that's the skill, by the way. I'm not trying to insult you. If anything, I'm praising you. If you're that type of guy, then you kind of don't care about the opponent. You make the opponent change. But if you're like the rest of us in a sense, who actually try to play, not just play the game instead of just beat the game, then yeah, maybe you need to take a little bit of an extra tactical element to try to confuse your opponent. Because if I go with this, my opponent already sees my Fluid. But I can surprise him with this. But obviously I have 2 fullbacks there. He know damn well I have an option 5 at the back. What about Fluid and use the same formation just to use new playing style? You cannot have different playing style with Fluid. You can only have different playing style with position. So these are just examples, really. Tonight I want to try the cross spamming because I want to see if every time I cross with a stunning kick, it's literally an acrobatic finishing. Now, as I said, I am not telling you guys that this is the best tactic. I'm not saying that, but this should give you an idea about it's possible that you can go Fluid and Subtactic. That way, you have a 4 different formation and 2 different playing style. So I don't recommend to go from 3 at the back to 4 at the back and then to 5 at the back unless you know it in your head. Like I'm used to it. I always use fluid and dynamic setups, but some people, especially anybody who's trying to be more consistent, top 1K, like for a rewarders ranking, I would not play that try hard. Personally, I'll get bored extremely. But you can take that as a idea. Like with this setup, could be easily 4-2-2 narrow. When you lose the ball, 4-2-2 with D2 DMF, white LMF and RMF. And your sub tactic can be 4-2-4. Surprise your opponent with something more offensive. You can get creative. So that could be fun, making your squad and stuff. Well, at least that was a fun part for me. Anyway, please don't go anywhere. 5-minute break. We're going to jump on and play. That's where the real thing starts. Gameplay. Be right back. What? Destructor. I mean, does that mean you're saying Destroyer now is active on LB or RB now? It's only defensive place. Okay, let me understand what you're saying. He's a Destroyer. I see what you mean. Is that the only playstyle complete? So when you have the ball, he's inactive. Oh man, I see what they're doing, man. Like, well, that means they're gonna add more playing style in a few. Because obviously Duzai is basic. I mean, what could a defender have? Extra front man, build up, bro. Deep crosser. Yeah, I can see what they're doing, man. I mean, let's be honest. It is like a passive way to tell us it's a full reset, a start of a reset. Yeah, but I still stand by what I'm saying. Dude, there are people with a bang average free team. They made the top 100. Okay, so you can still make a top 100 with a fully load up epic team in it. But these styles, do they help? Yeah, like I'm not saying they never help. But yeah, that's one of the things we missed out. I was trying to understand this style. That's why I wasn't ignoring him. He's very knowledgeable. So Destroyer is active as a left back as well. I feel like they're restricting us to go no playing style. So in defense, he's a destroyer. In defense, he's a destroyer. I mean, as a center back, of course, going to be. But are you saying is that a good thing to use? Because I used to love use destroyers fullback because they had no playing style. Are you saying this is a good thing though? I mean, other play styles, I guess. Yeah, destroyer says here. Yeah, CB, RB, LB, DMF, CMF. Before it was CB, DMF, CMF. Is there any other ones? Cannavaro and Desire are top. And on the meta, we use defense on fullbacks anyway. And many people use defense on their CB destroyer, aka Sail. So yeah, that's new as well. A bonus tip there, thanks to the community. I want aggression on the sides on CB. I mean, that could be also a personal preference. If you want aggression on. Usually, like if I play three at the back, I use destroyers on both sides, so I understand. Or if I play the meta 3 CB, 1 fullback, the C left back position, when I turn them into a CB, that would have to be a destroyer. Some are